Hi, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. Happy Thursday. Happy New Year. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? I haven't seen any chats come through yet. Hit me a thumbs up in the chat if it's coming through. I haven't seen any come through yet. There we go. What's up, everybody? Okay, awesome. Thank you for the feedback. There we go. What's up? All right. An absolute ton to talk about tonight. We're going to get a couple minutes. Awesome, Eric. Good to see you, man. Kyle, Matt. Awesome. Happy New Year, everybody. The first couple weeks of January is always kind of busy. It's my daughter's birthday on the 6th of January, and then my birthday on the 11th of January. And so usually the first 2 weeks kind of gets, Hugh, what's up, man? Kind of gets away from us. But we're grinding now. We're back in it. Sorry about this weekend. My wife surprised me, took me to Iowa City for the Iowa Hawkeyes wrestling match, and you guys know how much I love wrestling. So that was a great surprise, but it kind of foiled our plans for AMA this weekend. So I appreciate the flexibility there, and lots to talk about. And we're gonna get started in about 2 minutes. Because I have a hard stop at like 7:40 tonight, so I got a ton to run through, and then hopefully we'll be all on the same page with everything and good to go. Michael, what's up, man? Good to see you. Who's Energy Girl? Who's this? I don't think I've seen this one pop up before. Maybe, but I'd still like to know who it is. All right. Michael, good to have you here, man. Hugh, good to see you, brother. Black Adam, I know who this is. Who is this? Oh, Michelle, what's going on? Good to see you. But I know who this is, but I'm drawing a blank. Hi, Darla. Good to see you. Make sure you talk about the IPO and what we need to get that point. Yeah. Oh, Jason, what's up, man? I thought, man, I knew it was you. Yeah, we're going to touch on this a little bit tonight. More what I'm going to lay out, and I have a presentation for us to go through just to keep us on topic, but more what I'm going to lay out is our revenue goals and metrics for this year, and then how that could catapult us into whether it be an IPO or just more growth for an IPO in 2024. So we're going to talk about all that tonight, but we're going to laser focus on building one thing, and we'll kind of dive into that here in a moment. But okay, let's jump in. I know we're going to talk quite a bit, and I do have to get off at 7:40 tonight, so I want to make sure that we cover everything that's needed. So our new website, I was hoping it was going to be live. The DNS records are taking. Let me check, make sure. The DNS records are taking a little bit longer. I was hoping to get it live tonight. But if you guys want to check it out, this is it. I'll put the so this obviously isn't the domain, but here it is. If you guys want to check it out, we're going to talk through the website a little bit in a moment, but I just want to take a little splash from the main page as our header. But our mission, our vision is the future of banking starts with people, and that was kind of the ethos of Stonks, right? Like when we first started Stonks, like we're empowering the people on Wall Street. We're just broadening that horizon and saying all of banking starts with people. And so our flagship product, and we're going to dive into this. Steve, what's up, man? We're going to dive into this tonight, is a high yield FDIC insured savings account. We're calling the People's High Yield Savings Account with a 6% APY. 6% APY is crazy doable right now just because of the markets, but we're going to hold firm on that 6%. We'll kind of dive into how that happens. Okay, so quick overview. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to review the website real quick. Then we'll review the wireframes for the bank accounts. Before I show you all that, they are just wireframes. They don't have any of our branding in, nothing yet. But I want to show you some of the build there. Advisory board applications, and so one of my action items for this quarter is to have that advisory board of you guys put into place. And then so we'll briefly discuss roles and responsibilities, and then a type of compensation for that as well. We'll be talking about the hires that we're going to be making here in the next few weeks, the revenue goals. So Michael, this has you in mind, brother. But the revenue goals and more metrics and KPIs for 2023, the expectations in for Slack. Just, we haven't really talked about Slack too much, but more expectations and navigating what that's going to look like, and then how we're going to use that internally. Swag update. I have a sad update there, but it's being resolved quickly. And then next step. So tonight I'll put up. We're going to hit these every Thursday now, and so I'll plan out before tonight ends, before I go to bed, I'll just schedule next Thursday so everybody knows that it's happening. I'll schedule that, and then you guys can just subscribe to it on YouTube or something like that and keep it in your footnotes. Okay, let's move, guys. Okay, so if you guys click that link in the chat, I was hoping the DNS records would settle by now, but it hasn't. Sometimes it takes like 48 hours. And I did it about 6 hours ago, so it still hasn't gone through yet. But our new website is live. So all of our former domains, because I know some, like even the other day I went to tristonks.com, just like not even thinking, and tristonks.com is still up. And so we obviously want all that consolidation going to People Finance. And so all former domains, tristonks.com, purple.fi, those will start to forward to our new peoplefinance.co, probably the next couple of days once these DNS records settle themselves out. And then then we have a synchronized content can't be displayed. Awesome. Okay, so we'll talk about Slack here in a minute, but so everything's going to be consolidated. Something that I'm going to have on the website, I'm hoping by tomorrow, I put it in the slides so everybody can keep me accountable on this, but I want to have every single investor owner, so you guys, on the website as well. So what I'll probably have, I'm having it mocked out a little bit, but at the top of the website, just like an owner's slide, like owned by the people owner slide, and then it'll, for now, probably just have a cool list of just everybody that's invested and owners and whatnot, not ranked or anything, just all the OGs on there. But eventually I would love to get everybody's headshots that's, invested or have been since the beginning, just because I think that would be a really, really cool message to tell not only our future users and customers, but kind of like what we're doing in finance, as well as being owned by the people. So we'll talk about that specific thing in Slack as we move to trying to get everybody's headshots and everything. Henry, what's up, man? Good to see you. But anyways, just be on the lookout for that. Also, we're going to have an owners tab on our new website as well coming in the next few days. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to talk about bank accounts, the savings accounts, but just know that these are wireframes. These are not. This is not our new design. So I just wanted to throw a few slides in there. There's like 300 different screens that everyone's working through, or everyone, the engineers are working through the workflows and whatnot. But I wanted to show you just kind of some main wireframes on like how the cards will look when we get them. They won't look like this. They'll have our branding on it, obviously. And then this again is just the wireframe for how this essentially matches up to the back end. We'll put our own UI on top of it. But for now, we're just going to have a savings account. So there's not going to be the send money unless you're sending it to yourself, not peer-to-peer. And then because it's a savings account, there most likely won't be any transactions in there at the moment. But we're building this out so that once we hit our savings account numbers, and we're going to go into the KPIs there here in a moment, once we hit those numbers, the infrastructure will already be built so that we can add checking accounts and debit cards. And so it'll be just like we hit our 25,000 account holders for savings accounts, we can then turn on checking and debit cards as well. So that's kind of what this wireframe is showing. Like we're building out everything. I just wanted to show you guys like kind of, the building blocks here. Again, our UI and UX will not match up to this. This is more mapping it to the backend infrastructure, but I just wanted to show a little bit of progress on that. If you have any questions, let me know. I can send the whole wireframes, I think, in our Slack channel. Let me double check. Kyle, we are not a credit union yet. That's going to take some time. I don't know if you were on that AMA now that I'm remembering, but I'm glad you brought that up. So I think 8 weeks ago, we discussed that it's going to take quite a bit longer than anticipated to become a credit union, just regulations. And so instead of sitting on our hands and twiddling our thumbs, we partnered with a company called Solid, that's a banking as a service provider, which will allow us to get financial products out the door. Now, what's nice is we still control most of what that looks like. Obviously, it's custodied at an FDIC insured bank rather than a credit union. But that's while we are trying to get our banking or our credit union charter. So it's not one or the other. It's let's get something to market. Once we get our credit union charter, we can reroute all the checking account numbers, routing numbers into our credit union, and it'll be a seamless transition there. So anyways, I just want to make sure that we can get something out the door, the first 6 months of this year. And then once we have the infrastructure of a credit union, we can just, no one's going to feel it. It's just literally like routing and checking numbers, to another institution. So that's the plan, high level on where we go, but we'll kind of talk through the KPIs of what I want to see from our financial products before we actually make that leap into a credit union. What's the timetable to become a credit union? Yeah, probably about 12 months. Again, like we can go faster here, but one of my New Year's resolutions is not doing too much at once. And I know in the past, I throw out all these ideas and then there's lackadaisical execution on all of them. This is just me being transparent. So one of my New Year's resolutions is let's focus on one product and service, knock it out of the effing ballpark, and then we can move on to other products and services, including becoming a credit union, including becoming a broker dealer, and so on. So I have specific KPIs for us right now around the savings account. And then on our high level roadmap, yes, of course, we want to try to become a credit union and whatnot. Hope that makes sense. Because we want to do everything. I want to do everything, but we need to execute on one product first, and then make the adjustments in the growth as revenue comes in and people come onto the platform. But that's actually a great segue into why I want to have an advisory board. And so kind of high level, what this is going to look like. We're going to do elections by the last week in February. And so what this is going to allow, and I'm going to, in Slack, I have an advisory board channel, I believe. Let me double check. 1 sec. Let's see here. There we go. I'm in a lot of Slack channels, guys. Okay, so so I have an advisory board channel. Can you guys see if you can add yourself to this? If you can't see it, that's John, no problem, man. If you can't see it, then I can try to add everybody to it. If your guys' Slack doesn't look like this outside the direct messages, then that means you guys are not being added to these channels. So I have a waitlist channel. So as people sign up for the waitlist, you'll be able to see growth, right? I think that's pretty cool to be able to see. So tophorn7@gmail.com, just sign up on the waitlist. Random stuff. But yeah, if you guys don't see these channels, let me know. And I think there's a way that I can just automatically add people to channels. But let me know if you don't see those. But anyways, we're going to talk about okay. Yeah, no problem, Kyle. We're going to talk about all like the actual requirements for the advisory board in this channel. And I'll have kind of bulleted points laid out. Election requirements, like for this first advisory board, I want it to be OGs. So I don't want someone randomly coming in off the street, a brand new user, and then being on our advisory board. I think it's very important that this advisory board is made up of people that have been with People Finance from the Stonks days or close to that. Then we'll have certain criterion for candidates. So one of those is a 30-second video on how People Finance, we want to make People Finance an impact in the world, like that kind of stuff. So I'll bullet point those out in the channel notes, and then that will be a part of the election criterion for the advisory board. I'm thinking, I think almost everyone on this is day one. So that's, thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. Michelle says if you don't see the channels, click add channel, then click browse. Oops. Yeah, Kyle asks, is that how we're going to be able to get to know the candidates? Yeah, so eventually, I want us to be able to do events where we're all together as a company. Once we're a $100 million company, we can be able to afford that kind of stuff, so that we can all get together and meet each other. But yeah, so these videos will be like almost a, get to know me. This is me. This is my passion for People Finance, and why I think I should serve on the advisory board. And then we're going to take elections based on that. From that, again, we'll have this all documented out. From that, the elected advisory board, I'm thinking there's going to be either 7 or 9. I think there should be an odd number. The elected advisory board will choose a chairman, and then that chairman will meet with me twice a month to essentially discuss like what's happening on the people side, the grievances, what needs to change, et cetera, like what the people want to see, meet with me, and then we'll obviously implement as much as that into the internal day-to-day as well. So compensation, someday I do want these to be paid events. The terms are going to last 2 years. Someday I do want these to be paid positions. But the best way that we can pay right now, since cash flow is limited, is through shares. And so I'm thinking 15,000 shares. That's almost 1% of our cap table when we fill out the entire. If we have 9, that's about 1% of our allocation. And then those will vest over the 2 years that you serve on the advisory board. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the channel, not on here, because I'm not going to be able to keep track of this. But in the channel, I will post this PDF, the slideshow tonight in Slack. So in the advisory channel, like, let me know your thoughts in there, and we can start crafting what that looks like. John, I get it, man. Yeah, I get it, guys. Yeah, if you don't have time, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to get involved, as you guys know. But Yeah, if you don't have time, that's okay. I think there's a lot of OGs that would serve you guys well. If you don't have time to be a part of it. Okay, so that's the advisory board. In Slack, leave comments on that in the advisory board channel, so that we can keep track of that. Okay, so upcoming hires. So I learned this. Hold on, let me cough real quick. So one of my friends, I've never seen this technique done before. I'm sure it has been done before, but he posted on LinkedIn that he had limited cash. He's raising money right now, but he doesn't have the cash, but needs the positions filled. So he posted on LinkedIn that he needed a chief technology officer that would be a co-founder, equity only, a chief marketing officer, and these are possible co-founder titles. They don't have to be, but just to give enticing people. Equity position, a CMO, and then a brand ambassador, which wouldn't be obviously a co-founder, but we'd give some equity too. So he got 970 applications in 5 days, and I mean we're talking about like some really really good people sorry, I gotta turn my phone off because everyone's in Slack now. So that he got 970-ish applicants for 2 of those positions in 5 days. I mean, he filled them immediately, and these people were happy to be a part of the founding team for equity. But then what's cool is like, I mean, a CTO for any size startup, but for our side, I mean, those people are still 150 grand a year. Chief marketing officer, 90 grand a year. And so if we can exchange equity until we're revenue positive for these positions, we really need a marketing person. We really need a chief technologist that can just dedicate themselves to building out the vision of the technology. I think that's something that's missing right now. Is I have the vision for the company and what I believe our placement in kind of in the finance world is. And I'll go to bat for that, but I don't have the technology vision, if that makes sense. I don't understand technology from idiosyncratic level to be able to know this is what our technology roadmap needs to look like. I have the UI roadmap, but not the technology roadmap. So anyways, so I'm going to post these positions probably this weekend, but I wanted to bring that to your attention that we could be having a full-time CTO and CMO in-house for equity here relatively quickly. So anyways, that's my thinking on the hires, at least. Okay. All right. What time is it? 7:24. Perfect. Because this is probably going to be the rest of our time. Revenue goals for 2023. So this is not just revenue goals. This is more metrics that has some type of revenue attached to it. But here's what I'm thinking. So our main initiative for this year, and we kind of talked about it at the top of the hour, is to focus on one product and service and knock it out of the ballpark for that one product and service. And so right now we're focusing on a 6% APY high yield savings account. And I want 25,000 accounts opened this year. Now, that could happen in 3 months. That could happen in 9 months. I don't know. That's why we're going to get a chief marketing officer to help us achieve those goals. But 25,000 should, just based on the average savings, high yield savings account, and it depends on the demographic also, if they're younger, if they're older, but just about $50 million in deposits. So that's AUM is assets under management, but that AUM is deposits, and so that's deposited into high yield savings. There's a few factors that go into the net revenue of that. One will have the delta between the yield delta, right? So if we pay out 6% but can make 9%, that's a 3% net yield. and then other like transaction type stuff. I'm not going to charge fees, but there's other like transaction type stuff that we can do. This should yield us about between $3.5 and $4.5 million a year in revenue. Now, I want to put it in a range because I'm not specific on what that will look like yet. Obviously, that can go up if we charge fees. That will go down if we charge nothing. So just so keeping that in mind. But based on like very limited account management fee, I think I had like 50 cents a month or something, like type of an account management fee. And then the net yield between what we're paying out and then what we can receive should be about $3.5 to $4.5 million. On top of that, I'm starting to look at a newsletter. And why I'm putting that here is because newsletters and YouTube channels become assets to a company as they grow, right? So, for example, this is a crazy example, but an example nonetheless. The Hustle, which is a newsletter, had like 2 million subscribers, and they just sold to HubSpot for like $45 million or something like that. Just a newsletter. They put out content every week on the newsletter once a week. They had 2 million subscribers. They sold to HubSpot for $45 million. That became an asset to the company. YouTube channel, 100,000 subscribers, not going to make that much revenue for the company, but it's revenue, right? And so, that's another revenue stream that just by putting out this content, which a marketing person will be able to help me do, we'll be able to grow that media base that we need. So these are my 3 focuses for the year. I'd love to hear your comments on that. But this is my specific focus. Is 25,000 people signed up for the high yield savings account, 100,000 subscribers. We have about 3,000 right now, 100,000 subscribers for our newsletter, 100,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. That is the 2023 goals. If we hit those goals, we should see a $3 to $5 million net revenue this year. Now, Michael, this goes back to your IPO question. We'll have to evaluate if $5 million a year in revenue is enough, or not. I shouldn't say enough because you can't $1 a year. But is that a strategic point in where we want to go? I think it could be because we IPO now. A lot of people hear about People Finance, and it's a marketing engine for us. Now, here's kind of what this looks like from a fintech perspective. So, say we're doing $5 million a year in revenue at the stage of company that we're at. We can fetch a conservative multiple of 30x, right? And so, I should do a little. I'm not good at math, guys. So one sec. Okay, so 30x multiple on 5 million is $150 million valuation. That's a small cap on the S&P, or not the S&P, the NASDAQ. So it's very possible to go public then. And so I think what we'll need to determine, not only internally as a company, but then alongside with you guys in the advisory board, is do we want to go public at $150 million valuation? Do we want to wait till 2024 and triple our numbers and then go public at a $500 million valuation? And so we hit these numbers, we will have a lot of possibilities at our hands. But this is what I'm focused on. 5 million a year in revenue, 100,000 subscribers on both our newsletter and YouTube channel. If we don't go public this year, maybe we can think about doing a dividend to everybody to get everybody's investment back out. And so that's another possibility. I'd love for everyone to be in this at a zero cost basis. And so I think there's a lot of different things that we can do. But those are the thoughts around the numbers and then the KPIs and the metrics for this year. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on that. Maybe I'll give it a minute in the chat, and then we can take up the chat in Slack as well. Okay, well, let's move on then. Okay, so Slack. Let's talk about Slack real quick. If you guys have questions coming up, I'll get back to them in the chat. Okay, so Slack is Okay, let's go back to that. Michelle asks, do you have any plans laid out yet to meet these goals? Also, the hired positions, inside our org, outside, or both. I do have a plan to hit these metrics. I don't want to share them where it's going to live on YouTube forever. So it's something I can maybe bring into Slack, or we can have a private Zoom call with whoever want to be a part of that. I don't want to share our marketing strategy as how we're going to hit those numbers. But yes, Michelle, I do have a plan for that. Now, as to these two positions, hiring inside the org or outside, I'm fine if somebody within the org is a chief technology officer and has a lot of experience building full stack fintech infrastructure, then please apply for it. I mean, I'm 100% fine for that. Same with marketing, right? Like, I want to have somebody that's been either a VP of marketing or a senior marketing manager at a fintech. Hopefully a fintech is and so fintech would be like a Robinhood or a Chime or something like that. I would hope that we can attract somebody like that. But again, if somebody is like that in our organization, I'm going to put it to them first. And so if any of you guys and gals are CTO that can do that job, or a chief marketing officer that can do that job, then please hit me up, shoot me a direct message in Slack. Any position that we hire, I first want to go to our community first and be like, can someone do this? If not, then we'll go outside the org to do it. Michelle, I hope that answered your question, both your questions. I don't want to shy away from talking about how we get there. I just don't want to do it live on YouTube, if that makes sense. Okay, so you're welcome. Okay, so Slack, it's a business communication tool. Like, I want to start getting away from using the community app, and here's why. So you guys probably have noticed that my texting has gone down quite a bit over the last month. That's because community decided to start charging me for every time I text. So it costs $150 every time I text to the group. And so I'm trying to wind that down as much as possible. The problem is we have like 2,000 people on there. And so it's kind of a double edge. So we're going to keep it going. But every time like you guys text me on the community app and I text you back, it's like $1. And now that doesn't seem like a lot, but there's 2,000 people on there. And so like it can add up pretty quickly. So I want anything that needs to be business related, like whether it's or whatever it is, day-to-day stuff, let's move it into Slack. If you need help with something, let's move that to email or our chat bot. Carson's on top of that. But everything can be focused now in Slack. We're trying to get smaller as an organization so that we can get bigger, right? And so we've been kind of scattered around multiple different communication avenues for the last year and a half, trying to get smaller on that so that we can have the infrastructure to grow. So anyways, that's the thinking there. We're gonna still have community. It's just gonna be a very limited tool, just because they significantly raised their price. It was $100 a month. Now it's $250 a month, and then like $150 every time I text. So please download Slack on your phone. That's the best way to do it. Don't rely on your computer for Slack, because you're going to want to be engaged real time. And then there's certain ways to message everybody in Slack. I will. That's great, Kyle. I will do that. Put out the company email in Slack, please. Yes, I will do that. So there's certain ways to ping everybody in Slack, and that's the @channel. I'm going to ask this. Please do not use @channel unless it's a very important circumstance. And the reason for that is we want everybody to be in Slack that wants to be a part of the day-to-day. But if everybody's @channeling everybody, all our phones are going to go off and notifications are going to get shut off. So you can direct message somebody in Slack and that will send a notification. You can at Anthony in Slack, and that will ping me directly, not everybody else. But at channels, please don't put that out there because I just know as we get a couple hundred people in there, it's going to get ridiculous. So we want to make sure that we're using that correctly. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Let me talk about swag. So I did not know you all did not receive your swag. So I called the vendor today or yesterday, whenever you guys started pinging me about it. And 80% of our order was back ordered, and they never told us or told me. So I canceled the rest of those orders, and I went to Sticker Meal, I think is what it is. Told them the situation. They said they're going to rush it out as soon as possible. So those orders are they're with Sticker Meal. Going to get them out as quick as possible. I said, look, like my people were expecting this a month and a half ago. I was told it was just delayed because of Christmas, but the company never said that they were back ordered on their own material. And the rep at Sticker Meal was like, yeah, we heard that a couple times already. So they're going to rush it out as quickly as possible. I got the designs to them today. And so I'm hoping that you guys have that here in the next week or so. So thank you everybody for bringing that up. Yeah, it's terrible. Thanks for bringing. I would have had no idea that no one got it, and so thank you for bringing that up. It's awful. So, Michael, I didn't have anything to wear either, man. I had to go shirtless, and no one wanted to see that. So, but yeah, so they definitely lost our business. I can't remember their names off the top of my head. I will let everyone know. So if you ever have to get t-shirt orders, don't use them. But I'm not going to blast them on YouTube though. No, I need swag. I was looking for my OG Stonk shirt today, and I couldn't find it. No, we're not going to let the swag die. And in fact, we're gonna up the swag game heavy this year, especially with our like newsletter presence and YouTube presence. I want to just be pumping that out. But yeah, we need more of this stuff. That's the People Finance Yeti mug, which I still have to give one away. But anyways, thank you everybody for bringing that up to my attention. Because we probably would have won another month. So one last thing. We did a little house rearrangement this week, and this used to be my son's bedroom. We moved him down the hall so that I can turn this into a dedicated office/studio. And so, again, one of those big initiatives that I have is producing content. Financial content, trading content, that kind of stuff. Even entrepreneurial content like side hustles and stuff, I think would be kind of cool with what we're doing and who we're going to attract. But we're going to turn this into my studio. And so I've been working on that with the CEO of the house this last week. But yeah, so this is the new Stonks King studio for now. I want to get a People Finance sign over here, and then a Stonks King sign like over here. I think it would be pretty cool. But Darla, take a picture of that next time, Darla, and post it in the Slack so we can all see. You need to get started early this year on those personalized Christmas cards. Santa didn't bring mine this. Yeah, I know. I have a good pen for it now too. I got a nice pen for Christmas so that I can do those cards. Yes, Steve, Slack is an app. So if you go into the App Store and you type in Slack, you download it. Let me put our invite code in here real quick. Oh, it's great to see you guys talking in the advisory board channel. Thanks for doing that. Add teammates, invite people. Steve, here's the link to Slack. So just download that app and then hit that link, and then you'll be good to go. If I don't see you pop in there by tomorrow, I'll just send it to you personally. All right, it's 7:40, everybody. That was an efficient conversation. Okay, so tonight I will send our next Thursday's meeting. We're going to have these regular, on the regular. Be on the lookout for stuff in Slack tomorrow, but then specifically on Saturday as well. That's kind of when I get to catch up on some stuff. And then we'll start building out the advisory board channel. You'll see also, if you guys go to, join the waitlist so you guys can see people flooding in. Not join the waitlist on the site because, I mean, sign up for another thing if you don't want to. But join that, because as we start trickling people in, that's just gonna be cool to watch. Josh is messaging me right now. So if you see dots next to somebody's name, that means they're typing. So Josh is typing to me right now. But anyways, okay, everybody. Thank you for the time. Happy New Year again. Thanks for the little time off for my birthday. But it's go time. We gotta take this baby to the moon now. Enough's enough. It's time to go. So, anyways, have a fantastic night, everybody. A great weekend. Message me directly in Slack if you want to chat. You can also call me in Slack, but please don't unless you have to, because then that's gonna get crazy if everyone starts calling me. But anyways, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.